Hey guys, so this is the number 22 on 10B. So we have a really nice floor function question. So we are looking for the number of distinct solution, basically, a real solution. You know, the floor of this guy, I'm not sure if you are aware of this function, like floor basically run any number to the smaller value. Let's say if you have like 2.4, you are gonna just get 2 because that's the smaller integer than the given number that is the largest number. That's why it's called greatest integer less than or equal to x, so which will be that. If I have negative 2 point, let's say 1, so you are looking for a integer that is lesser than the given number or equal to a given number. That is the largest one. Okay, so negative 2.1 is larger than negative 3, and that would be the answer. So that is just the floor function or greatest integer function. That is the definition. So based on this, what we are given is a equation, right? So how do we deal with this in the first place? So what I will do, like you can try to see maybe some sort of cases, like if this wasn't here, you know, if you had like x squared minus 3x plus 2, which means if this was an integer value, x is integer, you know, that's the one case you could have because you have like 2, the floor of 2 will be 2. That will be just x squared and stuff like that. And this is equal to 0. And if you solve this, this is really nice, x minus 2 and x minus 1, which gives you two solutions, 2 and 1, right? Which is one of the choices, so you can easily eliminate this guy. But if the x is integer, you already have two solutions. If not, then you have to deal with that, okay? For that reason, you know, we already know two solutions. Maybe we can start with some sort of cases. So if my x is less than 1, okay, but larger than or equal to 0, okay? So let's see what we get. If you take the floor of anything in between 0 to 1, the floor of that number will be 0, so that should be 0 squared minus 3x plus 2, which will give us actually 2/3 for another x value. Okay, so we got now another choices eliminated. And if I choose like anything in between 1 to 2, which actually I already have some solution right there, but let's try that. So if I have x is larger than or equal to 1, okay, but smaller than 2. So this is my x value. So the floor of x, which is the floor of anything in between these two numbers that is lesser than 2, would be just 1. So that should be 1 squared minus 3x plus 2. And from here, so you will get the 3 equals 3x, x equals just 1. We already know that was one solution if x is integer. So we already have that guy. And we already know these two. And if you do 2 to 3, I guess we are going to get this solution. So let's confirm that. So if you take the floor of the any number in between 2 to 3, 2 is included. The floor will be just 2, so that will be 2 squared because that's there. And negative 3x plus 2 has to be 0. So they are all equal to 0. I missed those. Okay, so this is equal to 0. Okay, and then that will give us 4 plus 2, which is 6. That gives me 3x equals 6, which is 2. And then we already have 3 solutions. Okay, so this might be answer, this might be, or that might be. Let's see. If I go with anything 3 to 4, so then the floor of any number in between these two will be 3. So if you square, that's 3 squared minus 3x plus 2 has to be 0. And that is 9 plus 2, which is 11. So the x will be 11 over 3. But make sure that this number is actually in the given interval. So which is like 3 point something, which is correct. So we already have 4 numbers. Okay, so if you have like one more, then we will probably go with this one for sure. But let's see. If I choose the x is larger than or equal to 4, but lesser than 5, then the floor of any number in this range would be 4. So you should square 4 minus 3x and plus 2 and equals 0. And if you square that 16, 18, so x looks like 6. We already tried this one. You know, when you have any integer values of the floor. We said this is going to be x squared. We have only two numbers that will be integer, 2 and 1, and it didn't work. We got integer, but it is not in this range, so which means it doesn't work. So we will cross this guy. If you try like 5 to 6, you will get 25 plus 2, which is going to be like 27. Is equal to 3x, but that will be 9, so which is not going to be in between 5 to 6. Since you are going to square the number that you are going to like get after flooring, that square will be way bigger than like the linear version of 3x, which is why you are going to always get something larger than this range. So which doesn't give me any solution after that point. And if I go with the backward, maybe like if I try something in between like a -1 like to 0, if I take the floor of anything in this range, that would be -1. If you square -1, that's 1. 1 plus 1 is 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 will be 3x. X would be 1, but 1 is not in this range either. So if you keep trying that, you will see there is nothing gonna work out. So this solution is gonna be these numbers. And you may actually prove why that is not gonna be the case, but right now it's not needed. So you can challenge yourself if you want to, okay? So we have 4 numbers that actually satisfy. So see you next time.